Before we get started, if it looks or sounds strange out there, we're currently in the middle of a dust storm, which is very unusual for Northern Ontario, Canada.
Yep. We blame the sand.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is a bunch of dirt is dumped on the snowy roads all winter, and it's all just accumulates, and then it just blows around as soon as...
Sure if you guys can see it that well. Dev, aim it at...
It's going crazy.
Yeah, no, but aim it at the lights a bit, because you can see the sand moving.
Yeah, kinda. So, we just saw Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah! A 2023 movie. We're actually watching something recent for once.
2023? 2024?
No. No.
Did you figure out what year it is?
No, we just...
Oh, is it an older movie? Is this from last year?
It's from 2023. I just looked it up.
Oh. I thought it was like a new movie.
No.
Okay, well. So we decided to see it, and I was like, this looks like an interesting movie, and we saw the trailer, it looks like an interesting movie, and you thought it was interesting, I thought it was interesting. Dave thought it was interesting, but last minute, he's like, I'm going to bed, so...
Yeah, I feel like Dave probably should have come with us, because he probably would have
liked this movie, I think.
Yeah, he would have liked this movie, but oh well, no Dave.
I enjoyed it too, because I like retro stuff.
Yeah.
And I like the 70s, even though I'm definitely way too young to have lived through the 70s, but I like the 70s.
I enjoyed it because it wasn't a pure horror movie.
Yeah, so this was a horror comedy.
Yeah.
And it was definitely... Well, hold on, it was definitely...
I feel like
I would call it a horror comedy.
I feel like it wasn't technically supposed... I don't think it's labeled as a comedy, but it is.
It's definitely more horror than comedy. It's like 2/3 horror, 1/3 comedy,
yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
But do you hear the wind hitting the car? So no, it's good as a horror comedy, and it's there's so many moments that I laughed, and when I know that okay, it's the kind of laughter where you feel like you're not supposed to be laughing. It's the wrong time to laugh, but you laugh. But it's obviously they're making you do that, right? They're making you feel like you have to have inappropriate laughter specifically, which is actually pretty clever. It was
great, but I also think that we were the only ones laughing in the theater.
Oh god, the theater had maybe a dozen people in it. Yeah,
no, it's a surprising amount of people considering how late it was. Because when we looked at the seats for the tickets just to see if it was going to be packed or not, there was only two bought tickets for the time of the show. Because it's I don't know, it's 11:42 right now, guys.
Yep.
And
so we call the show Midnight Movies.
Yeah, and and when we got in to buy the tickets, we're a little bit late. There was am I gonna say 6 to 10 people who have already bought seats, and I'm assuming we're in the theater.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised, and so we were the only ones laughing. There were several times where I let out a loud giggle, and it was just echoed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like...
Or me trying to open the fucking thing and crinkle.
That's why you gotta do it at a loud part.
I did my best. But anyway.
Should have left the crinkling to me.
So we're gonna spoil it a little bit, but I think you should actually watch this movie. It's a good movie.
How are we not gonna spoil it at all?
Okay, so then spoilers begin. Okay. So the idea of the movie is it's the 1970s. And there is a TV host who does a midnight variety show called The Night Owls. And his name is Jack. Jack does something?
Jack D.
Jack Delaney? It's something like that.
We just watched it. We're both really bad at remembering
And he's an actor
names.
that I know has been around and been in a bunch of things, but... He's an actor that people will recognize, but
they immediately know his face and have no idea what he's been in.
Know his face, know his voice, but it's where have I seen it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But he was center stage this time.
Yep. He was good, too.
He was good. He was good. And basically, the idea is he's a late night talk show host, kind of cut from the same cloth of Jay Leno or something. And you don't know who Jay Leno is, do you? You fucking zoomers. Okay, cut from the cloth of a Jay Leno, and he has this successful show, but is always second place. He never won the big, I think it's Emmys for TV.
Who the fuck knows?
He never won the award for late night comedy. He's never won. He was always number 2, never number 1. He's very popular, but he's not the best. Mm-hmm. And then over the course of his 5-year contract with this TV company, he gets married. His wife gets cancer. His wife dies. It's very sad. He comes back. But after... There's people yelling.
No, they're just loud.
Maybe they're getting blown over by all the wind and the sand.
They were exiting the theater a little bit before we were, and I think they were just hanging around outside. They were just a loud group. Yep.
So, they are loud. Holy fuck, they're laughing.
Like I said, loud group.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but they're giggling over there. Okay. So anyway, what ends up happening is after his wife dies, he takes a month off, comes back, and at that point the show starts to decline because it's not as interesting anymore.
Well,
he's being more sensationalistic. He pulls like a Jerry Springer. Basically.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. He just becomes Jerry Springer for a little bit, and he is then surprised that the ratings on his show are tanking. And I'm just like you're a fucking moron.
There's like fights happening and like just more sensationalistic stuff, and he's not putting on the funny tight show he used to. And so like the contract's coming up and he's gonna lose his show, and he's like, fuck, I gotta do something. So it's Halloween of 1977. And I remember remarking to you in the theater, like during the movie, I like kind of leaned over and whispered, I'm that guy, yeah, sorry. I leaned over and whispered, and I was like, this would actually be a really good movie if they released it on Halloween. And I now that we know it's a 2023 movie, maybe they did.
Maybe they did.
I thought it was a new movie.
Well, it said, when we were looking up the actor's name, because neither one of us could remember it, because we can't remember anything in general.
I already forgot it, by the way. It's already gone.
Bunch of dementia patients over here. Fuck.
Yeah.
And the IMDb page for the movie said it was 2023.
Yep.
If I'm wrong, then IMDb is wrong. Either that or I can't read, which is a possibility.
So, I do want to point out that like the first 10 minutes of the movie is before the opening intro, which is interesting. There's an extended intro like describing this guy's career, and like it's all like set up to it's all set up to be like a documentary.
Yeah.
Where it's just like,
I love things that do that.
Yeah, it's like this is the career of Jack Delaney.
Yeah, it's like a fake documentary.
Yeah.
I love those.
It's like this is and that's basically what happened with this thing is it sets up like his entire extended career after like 10 minutes at the start of the movie, and then it rolls the opening title, and it's like, oh, okay.
But surprisingly, that wasn't super uninteresting.
No, it was all interesting stuff.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like usually when you do like a long, boring setup like that, it's actually boring. This time it was not. So I was pleasantly surprised.
Yep.
Surprising.
Yep.
How does English work?
I completely agree with you. So then the story, basically what happens is after the intro, the narrator is like, we discovered the lost recording tapes. So it goes from documentary to found footage.
Yeah. And
because of course found footage and horror, it's been a thing ever since. What was that movie? Not Final Destination. That one famous one like 10, 15 years ago that was huge.
Thing in the Woods?
No.
No.
No, you're right. The Blair Witch Project. I almost said Blair White. Okay.
That's a different type of project.
Okay, so what ends up happening is the narration then says, we found the final hour of live footage that aired in 1977 on Halloween.
That is paraphrasing here. Yeah. That's not exactly what they said.
And we're going to watch it. The on-screen parts look identical to what a 1977 talk show would look like. The same level of tech, the same level of audio quality, the same way that like all the cameras are set up and like the switching between them. It's all very period. They did a very good job making it look like 1970s. Like very good job. And then when they cut to commercial, it does the whole like we'll be right back, and then like the studio logo appears. And then while they're on commercial, it cuts to like a handy cam black and white footage of the various hosts and people working behind
just what's going on backstage.
Just what's going on backstage.
Yeah.
And that happens. And it lasts about the same amount each time because it's like a commercial break.
Yep.
And they actually manage to squeeze in like a bunch of this like off-air plot in between each segment, and it feels like a TV show.
It was very clever. It was good and clever, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was very well done.
Yeah.
And so basically, because this is their Halloween show, he's like, we're gonna have the big debate, and I've seen this in a whole bunch of things. We watched that one detective movie like late last year, where it's like Supernatural versus the Skeptic, like that debate. They have this debate in this movie. The detective, Haunting in Venice.
Oh right.
Yeah, and like there's an anime, Umineko does the same thing.
Yeah. Like so many things do that.
Yeah, where basically the main conceit of the plot is that there's somebody who believes in the supernatural, somebody who doesn't, the eternal skeptic,
Yep.
and then there's a supernatural person.
Yep.
And then they kind of have this intellectual battle to see, is this actually supernatural or not? And that's always a really fun plot from my point of view. I like that.
Trope
and so,
never gets old.
well, it probably can, but it hasn't for me yet.
Not yet.
So what happens with this story is he brings in a psychic, and the psychic, like, he does a few obviously fake readings. It was very obviously fake
God,
readings.
guys, listen. It was painful.
Yeah, it was like
could
embarrassing.
Feel, like it was like you were literally watching it on live TV. This happening to this guy, and I was just like, oh
Just,
God,
like,
you're
fake.
bombing hard, bro.
Yeah.
You're bombing.
And then he has a real one.
Oh, that was scary.
And the real one, I guess spoilers are now going to seriously start. Now spoilers really start, okay?
Yeah, because, like, I don't know how we're going to talk about this without spoiling it for you.
it, yeah.
So, before we actually spoil, I do want to say...
Okay, go ahead.
This is actually a fairly good movie, and you should go watch it.
Yep.
And if you're gonna watch it and we're gonna spoil, you're not gonna enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
So if go watch it
Though, to be
first,
honest,
then come
like,
back.
in retrospect, everything was pretty well set up. It was all pretty well
No,
foreshadowed.
like, it was all-
nothing's really nothing was like nothing.
Here's the thing, nothing was unexpected,
Yeah.
but it's still a good movie. So, stop, pause it,
Go
watch
watch
the movie,
Yeah.
then come back.
Come back.
Okay,
So
warning.
warning. So he then has a real contact with someone from beyond the grave, and he starts like bleeding from his nose, and
His eyes actually roll back. I don't know how they did that effect.
it's probably just like CG.
I mean, it might have been
2023.
CG.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. This is a modern movie.
This is
Never
not
mind.
It's not
It feels like it.
Naomi.
It feels like it.
Okay. And he has a contact with what we like. It's a name that no one knows. But what
Yeah.
we later find out is actually like his dead wife's like nickname. Which
Whose dead wife?
the host Jack.
There you go.
And like he reveals that a little bit later.
Yes.
But he has this encounter, and then like on the break, he's like clearly like shaken up, and
Yeah,
he's
he's
like bleeding. He's like, dude, I
he's
can't fucking.
suffering.
Yeah.
Like it's a little like, dude,
Yep.
sit.
Yeah, and Jack is like, you're still good to go, right? And he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, no, you're fine. He's
Yeah,
like, Jack.
don't worry about it. Well, no, the producer did that.
Jack did too.
Well, Jack did a little bit, but then the producer was just like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
God, Jack was a real fucking
you know
slime
what?
ball.
Considering how slimy the producer was, I'm surprised he didn't like eat it in the end.
I know, right? Yeah. I think it was just because he wasn't on stage. I think
Maybe,
that's the
yeah.
only thing that saved him.
Maybe, well, okay, now we just spoiled everything. Okay, so listen. Okay, then the skeptic shows up, and the skeptic is a former magician. He does like all of his hand tricks. He like pulls the cigar comes out of the thing, and like a fake light, and like he does the whole thing. Behind your ear, he does the whole thing. And he's like, I am here to disprove any magic that you bring on tonight. And so they start talking.
Because there's like a whole society around it. I don't remember the acronym, but there's a society.
Yeah. And like the society's really funny. It's like we're like measuring. Like there's like, yeah, I'm a psychic, and he like puts like things onto his head and like measures them. But like on the break, he's like talking to the women who he did like a real prediction for, which is actually fake. And she was like,
are always so generalizing. Who did?
The skeptic is talking to the two women in the crowd.
Yes.
Yes.
Who the psychic did
the
a
fake,
real reading
which
for.
which is a fake reading. And then the skeptic's like, so how did it happen? And then the girls are like, well, it turns out that his assistant came and like pumped us for information before the show. And he's like, yeah, I figured. One of those things. But then like what ends up happening, this is I call this like the end of the first act, is when we see like our first like real like shock, okay? And it's when they start talking about his actual real connection with someone from beyond the grave, and then he like projectile vomits
black goo.
Black goop.
Yep. Onto the skeptic. And just like everywhere.
Yeah. And he's like, oh God, he like falls over, and then it's like, call an ambulance, and then like, we're gonna cut to commercial, and then it goes like, do 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 do. Seriously,
so
it was actually really, really funny.
Yeah.
And then like on the break, they carry him out.
Goes away in an ambulance.
Yeah, it turns out, by the way, actually no, we're spoiling.
We're spoiling everything.
Yeah.
I already gave you the warning. If you're mad, it's your fault.
Yeah, so he dies a little bit later.
Yeah.
He, from whatever happened to him, he died.
He just died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
Yep. So, and then the skeptic was like, oh, dude, my fucking jacket got like ruined, and he like,
he had someone go get another jacket.
Yeah.
It was
and
great.
they cleaned up the vomit, and and then
they continue on with the show.
And then the next person to come on is it's this woman named Jane who's a parapsychologist, and then this 13-year-old girl that she rescued from a cult.
Named Lily.
And they show off, like, this...
The cult footage, and that was cool!
The cult footage.
I didn't think they were going to show it off for that long.
They did, though.
They did. It was still
and
good.
And there's, like, guys in robes, and they're, like, cutting their hands, and they're like, we're worshipping the devil!
It was, like, a guy in a robe, and then lots of beautiful women.
Yeah, there's more than one guy there. Yeah, but here's the thing. It was definitely that 1970s cult where there's, like, one dude with a big goatee, and he's talking about, like, worshipping Satan and powers of the beyond, and then there's, like, a bunch of nubile, like, female servants around him. Like, it's that kind of cult, right? It's a very 1970s conception of a cult. You know, it's very like Manos the Hands of Fate conception of a cult. Okay, so they show, and then like it turns out that the FBI raided them, and like the place burned down, and then one girl survived.
Yep,
the 13-year-old,
found in the wreckage of the fire.
She was 10 back then, but she's 13 now.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of the ages, to be honest.
She was 10 back then. She's 13 now. And basically, Jane, the parapsychologist, has been working with Lily because she's possessed by a demon. And they start talking about it, and the skeptic's like, "This is fucking retarded." And Jack is like, "Listen, we're gonna try to bring the demon out." And then the guy's like, "Listen, if you can do any actual supernatural stuff here, I'll give you $500,000." And he pulls out the check, and he's like, he's showing into the camera. He shows the check.
Yeah.
You know? And so they set it up, and Lily's chained to the fucking chair. And she can't move.
She's in those like old-fashioned style like cuff restraints to a chair. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yep. And then Jane like does her hocus pocus and brings the demon out.
Yep.
And the actual makeup for the demon when she transforms into the demon is like very like normal movie makeup stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It was subtle. It wasn't like.
Yeah.
They didn't go all out.
It reminded me actually of the first Exorcist movie.
Yeah, that's what...
With the scarring in the mouth, yeah.
I think that's what they were going for.
I think so too, yeah.
I think... Because, like, when because we watched the trailer because we were just trying to find something to watch because I happen not to work super fucking early tomorrow.
So you should go for a midnight screening.
We should go. Yeah. And so we were looking for something to watch, and we watched the trailer for this, and we both liked it. But I thought that in the trailer was gonna be a more Exorcist movie, and I was a little hesitant about going because I got a thing with little girl ghosts, and I don't like them.
Yeah, you don't like The Grudge. The Grudge was it, right?
Yep.
That caused it.
Yep.
Well, when we were playing Deadly Premonition on the gaming channel, I can't do it again.
I actually had to like not watch because no. Listen, as a sidebar, if you guys have watched the gaming stream, then you will, I've told this story a few times, but I had nightmares for years after watching The Grudge. And I don't have reoccurring nightmares often, but like that was one for years that just followed me into adulthood.
You still have it?
Not anymore, but like into like elder teenagehood. Mm-hmm. I think I was like 17 when it's like stopped. Yeah, but like it didn't happen all the time.
Yep.
You know, but like that was like one reoccurring, you know, character in my dreams.
Yep.
When I did have nightmares.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's why it's because if I see it, I'll have them, so I don't.
So when they set it up, and then she turns into the demon.
Yeah.
And they in this at this part of the movie, they haven't really indulged in any like overtly like screamery stuff or scary stuff. It's been all like goofiness. You know, there's like what is his assistant's name? Joe or something? Like the kind of short, balding guy.
I don't remember. I feel bad. I liked him too.
Yeah.
It was like
Gus. Was it Gus? It was Gus. Doesn't matter. We'll call him Gus. Gus has like that fake, like devil horns and like a little pitchfork, like plastic, like from like a dollar store. He has something like that, right? Like it's all very goofy.
Yeah, I think.
And like whatever spooks happen are like goofy until this moment.
Well, like I mean, the first like real like kind of like hint that there was going to be something more was when the psychic had his first
projectile.
No, not the projectile vomit. Like when he actually got like the eyes rolled back in his head and there's a whole bunch of like
but like that
lights.
That didn't startle anyone. That just like happened.
It startled me.
Yeah. That was just like, oh, his eyes were rolling back in the head. And then when he vomited, it's like, oh. Like, that was gross, though. Like, there wasn't anything scary until there was that one frame. There was that one frame where the demon girl looks up.
Yep.
And, like, they clearly CGI'd her face into, like, a monster.
Yeah.
It was way beyond what was
but
makeup.
that was one frame.
Yeah.
A split-second frame, but, like, most of the makeup was just her slightly scarred, and, like, her skin looked like rotted, not like a rotted corpse, but like a
white. Yeah.
Like it was
gray,
grayish white, and like also, the weird eyes.
She had a more pronounced like eyebrow section, like big eyebrows, like Super Saiyan 3 eyebrows from Dragon Ball, which you don't know.
I don't get that reference, but there was eyebrows.
So in any case, she's like ignoring Jane's commands.
Oh, also she has a really deep voice.
Yeah.
Along with the little girl voice.
Yeah.
I think my only mild annoyance was that the demon voice didn't sound like a demon voice too much. It sounded just like a regular guy talking.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
It was a regular. Okay. I'm just gonna keep referencing things. There's a sequence in the Link to the Past playthrough on old Game Grumps with JonTron where John and Aaron do what they call a demon voice, and it's just John. I think John is talking as like a girl, like and then Aaron is saying the exact same thing in like a demon, like It's just that the two voices overlapping. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's like it's as goofy as theirs was. So what ends up happening is rather than talking to Jane, she's like looking back and talking to Jack instead. It's like, I know you know me, Jack. He's the host, yes. Yeah. And Jack's like, I don't fucking know.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just here trying to make money.
Did you forget who I am, Jack? And then like she starts levitating, and then like all the electronics start blowing out. It's a big fucking shit show.
Yeah.
And then they cut to a commercial. And on the commercial break, Gus is like, listen, you're dealing with some fucking dark-sided... You're dealing with some dark-sided stuff here, and we need to stop this shit. And the producer, the scummy producer, is like, shut the fuck up. These are the highest R ratings have ever been, and you're going to fucking go back out there and do your job. And then
Big smile.
Yeah. And then Gus is like, but like 3 people have already walked off the set. Like people are leaving. And he's like, no. And then it's at this point that the word comes in that the psychic died
on the way to the hospital. Yeah.
And this is probably like the start of the 3rd act. And this is where, like, if you know anything about horror movies, and we could all feel it, this is when you know things are gonna start seriously hitting the fan. Right now. This is the moment.
I mean, the moment was permanently solidified when Jane was just like, God, Jack, we can't do this again. Like, she has suffered enough. Like, that was awful. Because, like, Lily's crying on stage, still, like, restrained to the chair, right? Like, she's back to her normal self. But, like, she's just crying. Like, she's crying. And, like, Jane's just like, Jack, we can't do this. Jack's like, but we gotta.
My ratings. It's funny because, like Jack is clearly torn. Because he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And he sees what's happening.
Yeah.
But also he's like, I need my career back.
Yeah.
I need my fucking career back.
I'm going to be #1.
Yeah. And like so with the scummy producer, he's just scummy. He's like, I want the fucking money, give it. Like, he doesn't give a fuck, right? Jack, meanwhile, he's clearly torn, but he's ultimately on the side of the scummy producer. He's like, I want my career, I want my fucking money, I want my show. I have to do this, right? And he's like, he's disquieted every step of the way, but he still goes forward. He doesn't ever stop, right? He does it reluctantly, but he's still like actively doing it. And then you have Gus, who is the guy who is like, listen, there's something fucking going on here, dude. Like, you need to stop this right now. He's like the religious guy who's like, no, we need, like, I'm leaving. And then the skeptic, meanwhile, he's like, none of this is real. You're all fucking retarded. Like,
I want to prove. Oh man, I fucking loved how he tried to prove everyone wrong. Holy shit. That was legitimately fucking creepy.
Yep. So here's what happens. After all that happens, the skeptic's like, listen, I can prove that this was all bullshit.
Yep.
I mean, she's like levitating. Oh, that's an obvious magician's trick. They're just fishing wire, just all the obvious tricks. And he's like, I can prove it. And Jack's like, well, go ahead. And so the skeptic takes Gus up to the stage and he starts hypnotizing him with like his stopwatch. And in fact,
it was the funniest stopwatch.
Dude, it was the stopwatch. like opens and it reveals like a fucking goofy like 1970s spiral, and it just
Black and white spiral, that like old style hypnotic spiral. That's what this was, and it was great.
Dude, we were laughing so much at that. It's like, holy fuck. And then he's like, Gus, look at the spiral. And then it's like, make sure the camera gets a good look at the spiral. And then like, and he says, listen, all of you who are currently in the audience, make sure you're watching a TV feed, and also you guys, Jack. And it's like, yeah, we're watching it. So everyone was watching the spiral. Okay. He's like, look at it. And then Gus begins to hallucinate worms coming out of a shaving cut in his neck. His worms are, and he's like, oh my god, there's worms all inside me. So he like rips his own stomach open, and just worms start pouring out.
Coming out. Yeah. And then there's like a giant worm that comes out of his head, and like
bursts out of his head.
The skeptic is like fucking like ran back and was like, oh my god, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. And then the skeptic sells it. He's like, oh no, what's happening? And then like after a second he's like, okay, I actually just hypnotized Gus. And Gus is like, what? And then Gus is like, fine.
He does the whole like dreamer awake, and like snaps his fingers, and like everything stops.
Yeah. And then Gus is like, oh, I'm actually fine. And then but then everyone else in the audience all saw the same.
And Jack and Jane, everyone.
Everyone saw the same hypnosis because he was doing it into the camera, right? And he's like, listen, I just hypnotized all of you. That's how this shit happened. And then Jack is like,
no fucking way. No way you did this.
Yeah. So Jack demands that the editing room pull up the footage of what just happened.
Yeah.
And so they pull it up, and then they start looking at the footage. And in the footage, they're watching it, and like Gus is very clearly like clawing at a cut that isn't there, and clawing at his stomach, and nothing is coming out. There's no worms. And Jack is like, this isn't what I remember. And then and like everyone else, and then. So then Jack says, okay, well, how many of you in the audience saw what we saw, the worms?
And everyone but like two.
Yeah, two guys didn't see it, but everyone saw it. And he's just like, oh, you actually just hypnotized all of us.
And you know what's great is that I totally forgot in the moment they referenced that at the very beginning of the movie. That when they brought the skeptic on, they were just like, oh man, like your group hypnosis thing was like the best. I loved it when I first saw it. I totally forgot until after that part. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. So the implication is that everyone who watched the
spiral.
So here's the thing. The movie became like a little bit meta in that moment because we watch it in the theater and we saw the worms coming out of it.
I didn't watch the spiral.
So we saw the worms coming out of Gus.
Yeah.
So the implication is that the spiral hypnotized the audience watching the film, which is why we saw the worms the first time, but not in the played back footage, right? And that's and that if we hadn't been hypnotized, then we wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
That's the implication that the movie is trying to do there. With like it's a little bit of a fourth wall break.
I mean, it was pretty good to be honest. It was a very good subtle fourth wall break. I knew what they were trying to do. No.
And then Jane's like, listen, but we didn't hypnotize you. What we did was real.
Whoosh.
Oh wow. That oh my god. There's stuff blowing around out there, dude.
Well, yeah, dude.
The car's like shaking.
Yeah, dude.
Can you guys hear that?
We better hurry up. We're almost done.
We're almost like buried. Okay.
In what? In dust?
Yes. It's all gonna like just cover up the.
Okay. Anyway, come on, let's go.
So, what ends up happening is they're like, okay, we got to pull back the footage of Lily being possessed.
I want to point out that Lily is the one who brings up that they should watch the footage.
Yeah, Lily brings it up.
Lily brings it
up. And Jane's like, we can't do this to her anymore, dude. And you can see like Jack is like really considering just calling it off. And then he's like, no, we have to see it. We have to get my fucking numbers, dude.
Yeah. My ratings!
And you know what, to be honest, like if I were Jack, I'd do the same thing. I'd be like, dude, my YouTube views, pump that shit up, bro. Like if I were in this situation and it's like, Dev, you need to fucking turn the camera off. Something. He's like, no man, we're getting the super views.
Good to know. I will keep that in mind for future reference. You jackass.
So what ends up happening is they pull it up. And they start going through the footage, and she does transform into the demon. But they see the ghost. They see the ghost of Jack's dead wife in the background.
His dead wife just touching his shoulder in the shot.
Yeah.
Oh, it was creepy.
And that's when the skeptic starts screaming. And he's like, you're a fucking slime ball. You had this all planned. You're bringing up your fucking dead wife for your ratings. Like, fuck you. And
Jack is just glassy-eyed staring at the footage.
Yeah, Jack is like...
of his dead wife touching him.
Yeah, because he clearly didn't plan this.
Yeah.
But the skeptic thinks he does.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? And then so here's the thing. The movie, even though it's really funny, it's clearly been building up to this specific moment.
Yep.
Where...
Well, because this... Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
No, because, like, the premise of the movie is that it's referencing an event that everyone should know about, but we don't know about, because I have no idea if something like this ever actually happened.
A demonic possession on TV?
No, like, someone says they're a demonic possession or something, you know?
I'm sure that's all the time, yeah.
You know, I don't know if it was, like, a whole thing, but, like, the whole point of the movie that it does tell you is that, you know, this is footage that we found of this event that you should already know about, but we found extra stuff.
Yeah.
So here's the extra stuff. So I just want to say that before. Yeah.
So basically, you can tell what this movie is doing, because if you know anything about horror movies, and you know that it's a found footage movie and it's live on TV on a stage, you are basically waiting for the whole movie for the mask to go off, for the demon to come out, and for basically a slaughter to be aired live on TV.
Yep.
That was obvious from the get-go.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? And I think all the horror movies kind of do this. Like, any good horror movie has like that first act where nothing is happening, a third act where something might be happening, and then in the final bit, everyone goes mask off, the demon comes out, the killer appears, and like people just start fucking dying, right, in the third act. And we were all kind of waiting for it. And that's just how horror movies are structured, right?
Yep.
So it happens at this point. Mm-hmm. So Lily's like fucking head cracks open.
Yeah, that like like just into glows.
Bunch of demon like energy comes out of her head.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
Yeah. And then Gus like immediately pulls out his crucifix and starts like yelling.
The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, and then his neck gets like psychically broken like instantly. Just.
And I called it too. I thought a couple other people were gonna die, but like I specifically was like, he's gonna die.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. And then Jane gets levitated up by the chain around her neck, because she had like a chain with like a charm on it that she uses to control the demon.
Some sort of demonic like charm, because she was like, you know, like parapsychology, like actually into like occult science.
And then she gets like levitated up with the chain around her neck until eventually like just splits her neck open.
What is that called? Garroting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like she just bleeds out.
Yep.
And then like, and then the skeptic is like, he like kneels before the demon and is like, oh my god, oh, and then like he pulls out the check and he hands it to the demon. And then he gets like lit on fire.
Like he just melts. He doesn't even get lit on fire. That's the best part, is that he just melts.
It looks like it's like electrical energy that's like.
Well, yeah, because she was full of electric energy before like her head literally cracked open in two with glowing fucking eyes and deep. It was fucking weird, guys.
It wasn't even scary. It was just strange.
Yeah, it was like, but like, that's kind of what made it more creepy. Yeah. Because it felt like it didn't even feel like a demon. It felt almost like alien.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, if we actually, like, if demons were real, you know, they would probably feel more similar to aliens.
To be honest, like a lot of like the lightning she was spreading around the room, it had like that VHS like old TV filter applied to it, and like when the skeptic started melting, he had the filter applied to it too. So I'm like, this is like a VHS demon or something, especially because in the fuzz of the TV, the demon's face appears for a bit. But
oh yeah, that was creepy as fuck.
Yeah. It was very kind of strange. Like, it wasn't that great of an effect, to be honect. That was just like
but it was creepy.
You know what? That was like, man, you remember like the Ripper like CD-ROM game with like the face and like the zeros and ones coming out. You know, it's a kind of like a goofy 90s effect like that.
Yeah. Well,
of like, there's a demon in the TV.
It's a movie based in the 70s.
No, I get it. It's just kind of goofy.
Yeah.
But anyway. So those three die.
Yeah.
People start like the crowd scatters.
Yeah, like pretty much right when her head cracks open. Like
people start just running. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone just starts running.
Yeah.
Other people die as well. Other people die as well.
Not too many people.
So some backgrounders start dying.
Like, but then like they just get stampeded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then like Jack is like thrown away from like an energy blast, and he like gets up, and then like the scummy producer is like, dude, we gotta get out of here, man. And then like Jack is like looking at the demon like one final look, and then like it runs away, and they just run off backstage.
Oh man, I thought the movie was over. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
I thought that was it.
I thought that the movie was done, and I was actually gonna be like, that was disappointing. The end kind of
honestly,
ruined it.
I don't know, like that. If it ended there, it would have made thematic sense because now it's the end of the show and like this is the end of the footage. Like that all
Yeah, I
makes
know,
sense.
but like there was a whole bunch of questions left unanswered.
Yeah, but like the rest of the show was not found footage anymore. It was just what happened to Jack afterward.
No, that's the point. Is that it was.
How was that found footage?
No.
He was like in an alternate universe for a little bit.
Yeah, that's the point. Is that it was still filming what he was supposedly seeing. That was the whole fucking point.
It seems like the found footage aspect stops at that point.
If you say so. I think the point that they were trying to do was that it was supposed to be kind of like the hypnosis part where we're just seeing all the fucking weird ass shit going on because of the demon.
Oh, and he was actually like killing everyone?
Yeah.
Because at the very end, he's like surrounded by bodies, yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I don't know if he at the very least ended up killing Lily specifically and made all the. I don't know if he killed everyone else. But, like, I mean, all the weird stuff after that. I think that was, like, the demon's power.
Maybe so.
And then that's the point. That was the extra footage.
Is that we were seeing what Jack was seeing, but the actual footage shows something else, because we also got hypnotized. They could have been doing that again, yeah. It's possible.
Maybe. Because, like, I'm pretty sure, because, like, if that was the extra footage, then the end of it with him just being surrounded by bodies was the event that we were supposed to know about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But see, my interpretation is that it's, everything after that point was not found footage anymore.
Maybe.
That was just like Jack's experiences, because after he leaves, he wakes up in this strange alternate reality where he's reliving parts of the show, and he's like yelling into the camera, "Turn off the fucking TV, dude!"
Yeah, but
like,
that's my point. That's why I think it was still supposed to be.
Because the big spiral, like on the wheel of fortune thing, yeah, there's like a big. The old lady spins it, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna win $1 million." She spins it. It's actually like a big spiral that goes.
Yeah, because what it's doing is it's actually referencing.
Previous episodes that he's on.
Previous episodes that we had seen.
Yep.
Because of all the stuff at the beginning before the credits.
Yep. And the conversation with his wife was there, like.
Yeah.
And so, what ends up happening is it gets to a point where he's
not referencing previous episodes anymore. He sees his dying wife.
He's with the cult.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, but
they also referenced that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Of the movie.
So what they referenced at the beginning of the movie, and it was only talked about. It was never shown, and it was only in a few scenes in the background. But like, it's very clearly what the demon's referencing when the demon's talking to Jack that one time, is that he was part of a secret cult in like the redwoods of California. The redwoods, by the way, are like a place with like huge trees. And it's actually a real place too.
Do people not know that?
Some people don't.
Okay.
Because like British Columbia has like this kind of same thing.
Okay.
And like Washington and Oregon. Yeah. There's like anyway.
Doesn't matter.
There's a belt of forests that are in the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
And there's a cult that meets out there, and it's like there's rumors that they do strange rituals. And but that they don't really go into it, and you're really meant to kind of fill in the blanks yourself, because it's very clear this demon has met Jack before, and it becomes very clear in the final scene with the wife that he asked the demon for fame and to be like number one.
To be number one.
And that either I don't know if he knew, but that his wife was the sacrifice.
He didn't know.
Yeah, it seemed like
no. He was just like, I want to be number one, and I think the point might have been he didn't fully know that he was
sacrificing.
No, that he didn't fully know at first that he was talking like in an actual cult with actual power. I think he might have just thought that the influence
of all these
rich people and politicians was the secret power of the cult.
No, there's an actual demon there.
No, there was an actual demon, and it gave his wife secondhand smoke because he smoked.
Yep. So she had cancer. She died, and the implication is that you could read it either way. Like he might have known he was sacrificing his wife. He might have not
didn't know. He didn't know he was sacrificing his wife. He's just like, this wasn't supposed to be the way it was supposed to go. I didn't know. That's what he said.
Did he? I didn't hear that part. Fair enough.
I'm 90% sure he said somewhere, I didn't know it was gonna be this way.
So the wife was sacrificed to get him fame. And then like there's a sacrificial dagger that's like in and out of the movie, and then in this dreamlike state, she's like, it's time to finally sacrifice me. So he takes the dagger and he kills her.
Yep.
And she's like lying in her hospital bed with like she's bald because of the chemo and the whole thing.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like a beautiful, like what you would want scene.
Aside from the stabbing.
Aside from the stabbing.
But then that's when he wakes up and he has stabbed Lily, the little girl, instead.
Yep. And just surrounded by all the dead bodies, which have all the correct wounds that the demon killed them with, which is because the skeptic was still melted, which is why
the skeptic was still melted. So so it's not like he was possessed himself and started killing people.
Yeah.
No. The demon's power did actually kill people.
Yeah.
But he killed the demon with the sacrificial blade.
With the sacrificial blade, it killed Lily.
It killed Lily.
The demon couldn't stay.
It seems
because they only said it once, but Jane had said that demons can't come into our world by themselves. Like they can only come through. She said they can only come through Lily, but like I'm pretty sure it was
like a body.
it meant
person.
like it has to be through a person. Yeah.
Yep. So then the final scene is like the camera zooming out, and he's saying the chant to like wake up from the hypnosis, which doesn't work obviously. But there's like a ton of fucking dead people.
The studio's ruined.
Yeah, to be fair though, like I'm sure it's horrifying for him, but he did end up killing the fucking demons. Like he's kind of heroic, a little bit.
He killed his wife by asking a demon for fame and glory. He killed his wife and then killed a little girl because he was an idiot.
But okay, here's the thing. There's like one drop of heroism in here because it turns out he didn't actually run away. It turns out he actually killed the person who had the demon infected. And keep in mind, this person, this demon-infected person was like blowing people's fucking heads open and shit. Like it was what? Like this person.
Okay, listen.
And he still managed to stab her. So like,
listen.
One drop of heroism. That's all I'm asking for.
Mildly, because I think that his wife and the demon were both there, but the demon was different. So his wife convinced. So I think, to be honest, I don't know this. Like it answered the questions that we thought that the fake out ending that I thought wouldn't get a leak. Like it didn't answer those questions.
Yep.
But like there's so many other questions. But like the movie doesn't have to answer them.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that the demon was just there possessing the little girl because it happened to be the same demon in that one cult and the rich cult.
But they were two different cults.
There were two different cults, but pretty sure it was supposed to be the same demon.
Yeah.
But then the wife was there either trying to help him or let him know, or just to murder him herself because he was getting with some other woman. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like we're gonna go with the theory that she was there to like warn him because he was doing something really fucking stupid. And she figured like she
was also kind of jealous of him. Well, there was that one moment where she's like, remember when there was all those naked girls around?
Well, that's how they met.
Well, yeah, but still, like that was clearly a cult orgy what she was describing.
Maybe.
So like
I don't know. No, because she was referencing a play, and I don't know what play it was.
Okay.
It started with a K.
No, so I see. Maybe
I think you and me just have slightly different interpretations of this movie.
Yeah, see that scene because they show that scene twice, once in the dream state and once in real life, and that seemed like she was like harboring a little bit of jealousy towards him. Maybe he was a cheater, or maybe he wanted to cheat, or whatever. But like that's what it seemed like.
I didn't read it that way.
And then, well, I read that way because the second time she says it much more sinisterly in the second time through. And like that seems like she is not on his side. So I don't buy the whole his wife came back to help.
I don't know, because the thing is, we don't technically know who possessed Lily that second time, because like the demon that wasn't Mr. Wriggles.
Yeah. Lily calls the demon Mr. Wriggles.
Yeah, it's fucked up. But like the demon who possessed her the first time, Mr. Wriggles, had a totally different like look and stuff going on to what the fuck happened with her fucking split head, glowing eyes thing. You know? So I think maybe that the wife possessed her somehow.
I don't think so. You know what I think?
I don't know.
You know what I think it is actually?
What?
I think it's now that she was not chained to the chair, and
the demon was just fucking faking being back asleep.
Yep. And the movie needed things to go fucking crazy. They just said, "Oh, the demon's crazier now." It seems like one of those things where there's no actual explanation. It's just that we now need for the studio to get fucking wrecked and the people to start dying. So for no reason, the demon is now way crazier this time. That's what it seems like, which is happens a lot in horror movies, and it's always a little bit disappointing when it happens, but still a good movie.
I know, but I have that theory because it seemed that the wife stuff was a little bit more like electric based. Because at the beginning, with the psychic, it was the wife trying to like get in contact with Jack through the psychic, not the demon. It was the wife.
Yeah.
And then like the lights went out and stuff, and then the whole thing with the whatever that spooky instrument is called for Halloween, the theremin. Theremin. I don't remember what it's called. Like, that was electric based too, but that wasn't the demon, right? Because I don't think Lily had like. Been like, hello,
that ended up being feedback because like everyone's like losing their fucking mind, and the skeptic like just casually walks over and unplugs it. And it's like, you guys are retards.
Yeah. Well, the point was that you're not supposed to touch the theremin, so it was obviously someone trying to. Yeah. I think that was supposed to be a spooky moment, Dev.
Didn't seem like it. That was like a dude. The minute the skeptic got up and just like everyone's like freaking out, and he's like just like walking, like, hands in his pockets, walks over, just like unplugs the thing, and it's like. That was not a spooky moment. That was like, you guys are dumb moment.
Well, no, I think the point, the spooky part was supposed to be, like, there's not supposed to be any sound on it because no one's close enough to it. But so that way a ghost can do it because it doesn't have to touch it.
Yeah, but he also said like it was just feedback. And
the glasses breaking probably was feedback and stuff, but then you could just unplug it, which is why things had to get progressively crazier so that she could get Jack's fucking attention. Anyway, my theory is that it was the wife at the end who possessed her, and then like her possession of her, and then plus the demon already inside Lily just made Lily go fucking nuts.
I don't think
that's my theory.
I don't think so.
I might be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. I'll accept it if I am.
I mean, I think
I need the producer on the phone, the director.
You know
tell
what?
me if I'm right or wrong.
You know what? I think the creators movie didn't even think that far into it.
Maybe I'm just giving them more credit than they're due. Yeah. Who knows?
Anyway, you know what? It was an okay movie. I don't regret seeing. You know, now that we've talked through it a bit, I'm like maybe it wasn't as good as.
Here's the thing.
It was okay.
Here's the thing. You're gonna watch this movie once, and that is it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd watch it again.
Nah. Like, I might watch it again in many, many, many years where I've, like, forgotten all of it.
You know what? I'd watch it again.
So that'll be, like, 2.
It'll be, like, 2 days. Okay. If someone was like, I haven't seen this movie before, you want to put it on? And someone else was like, yeah, sure. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't seek it out again, though.
No.
Yeah. It was okay. It was okay.
Go on a cheap day.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
Tuesday cheap days, guys. Yeah. It was okay. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go home.
And hopefully not die.
And maybe at like 3 a.m. I'm gonna spook Naomi.
If you fucking spook me, I am breaking up with you, and you are the one who's gonna be fucking moving out.
Am I gonna be haunted though?
Yes, by my rage.